James Pelton, I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday so far. Excited AMA for you today. Very excited to hear about this project. I never know how to pronounce projects. I only read them, but we'll have to. Is it Bolide? How do you pronounce the project? That's my first question as we get going here.
Yeah, Bolide is right. Yeah.
Bolide. Okay. Awesome. So we're gonna be talking about Bolide. Get your questions ready to go. I'll put a link to the website that we're going to be looking at here today. What I need from you in the audience before we even get going, please hit the like button. And Jared knows I always say if you're a good person, you'll hit the like button. You'll just help us out. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. It's right below the video that you're watching right now. So please hit the like button. That's helpful. And comment question of the day. This is going to be cheesy, cliche, but how's the weather where you're at? I was just telling these ladies that I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska. This is the one time a year where the weather's good. So I'm excited about the weather. It's sunny out today, but how's the weather where you're at? And then if you have questions as we're going, feel free to bring them up. We'll direct the conversation as you guys see fit. So awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the channel. Can we start with just quick introductions of who you are, and then we'll jump into Bolide?
Yeah, thank you very much, James, for having us. So let me start first. I'm BLID. I'm co-founder of Bolide. I'm also a chief operational officer at Bolide, and I'm responsible for business strategy as well. And my background, pretty, much standard. I worked for big companies like British American Tobacco, Danone. And then about 10 years ago, I switched completely into cryptocurrency market. And since then, I'm just super excited to be in this area. I think this is one of the best decisions which I ever made before. And I think the market is awesome. And anyway, even if, it's a bear or bullish market, it doesn't matter. We can always find something cool, and we can always find something to build. And I think it's one of the coolest markets in the world, honestly. This is my intro, and now I think Maria's turn.
Awesome. Yeah, Maria, how about you?
Yeah, sure. Or break something, right? So to what you've said before. Nice to meet everyone. My name is Maria, and I'm CMO at Bolide. So basically working on everything connected to marketing. But as you know, working in startup is usually wearing many hats. So yeah, doing a lot of different stuff. As a background, I worked a lot in larger tech companies. I worked before in eBay, and before that in Skyscanner. So yeah, have quite a lot of marketing experience in Web 2. But I was curious about crypto starting 2015, I think, when I first started to invest in Bitcoin, because fellow engineers told me what is it, and I thought that the concept is just brilliant. It's simple, and just amazing. And then during lockdown, I was watching YouTube, different influencers and bloggers, and I noticed that despite all those dumps in March 2020, crypto was full of life, and a lot of super intelligent people were moving into this industry quickly. So I'm like, interesting. So there's a lot of innovation, and I think, we're just starting here.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm excited to dig into this a little bit. We've got questions pouring in from the audience already, so this is great. We're gonna selfishly, I always do my questions first, though, but we will get to yours, audience. So keep them coming. We'll get to as many of those as we can. Can you again? I mentioned, assuming that people have never heard of this before, what would you kind of say to someone? You're in an elevator, they say, hey, what does Bolide do? What would you kind of say to someone as your elevator pitch?
Yeah, sure. So Bolide is actually a high yield aggregator, which is based on automated strategies. And we are one of the coolest protocol because we are very smart, and all our algorithm-based strategies, they work across DeFi market. So, and we basically leveraging a lot of different protocols all together. And that's how we actually earn the highest APY in the market for single crypto assets. So basically, if you guys are holding crypto like BTC, Ethereum, stablecoins, or altcoins, you can easily top up us without any lockup period. and just sit back and do nothing, because we will do all the jobs for you. And moreover, we also maximizing yield, and at the same time we're controlling risk on the market, which is very, very important. And so you don't need to monitor market 24 hours 7 days a week, because Bolide automated.
Okay, very good. No, that makes a lot of sense. So for the users, it's pretty simple. It's just you're depositing stablecoins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you're getting an APY. So it's under the covers is where kind of all the magic is happening. And I think so people are maybe we can get into a little bit more details, because people know, you can go to Binance and you can stake your Bitcoin, but you get like 5% APY when you do it that way. So can you kind of explain? I think this chart does a pretty good job, but can you kind of explain a little bit more in depth about how you're able to get these kind of returns?
Yeah, sure. So we have a strategy which is explained on this main page, and you can see that user top up our Bolide D app with the MetaMask or Trust Wallet or any other DeFi wallets. So, and then we take this liquidity and put them under lending protocols and keep them as a collateral. And then we borrow different cryptocurrencies and put them under DEXs. So in DEXs, we create several pairs, liquidity pairs, and that's how we do farming. So basically, why we have one of the highest APY on the market is because we do this lending plus farming, leveraging, and that's how we collect fees from both of these key tools in the market. And then we just exchange those fees into our BLID token and pay it back to our customers. So this is our first strategy, which was launched a year ago on BNB chain. But now we work on more and more strategies, and also on Polygon blockchain, we have another type of strategy. But everything about, automation. So we basically, when we go to blockchain, what we actually looking into is how you can actually earn the highest possible APY on blockchain. And we do a lot of analytic stuff on the backup, would I say like that, because before we launch something, we do a lot of analytics. We understand the market, we understand the percentage which you can get into, and then only after that we build the smart contracts, and then we do audits, and then only after that users can enjoy this wonderful strategy. That's how it pretty much works.
Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense how you're doing that, and I think the audience is going to have more questions about that as we're going here. Let's bring up some audience questions. I don't want them to think that we are ignoring them. Funny Turo would like to know: are the rewards given in stable coins? So it looks like you're depositing either stable coins or Bitcoin or Ethereum. What do you receive rewards in?
Yeah. So in terms of receiving, we always pay back in our native project token, which calls BLID. So BLID token, you can exchange it in all DEXs. Also, we have a centralized exchange which calls LBank. So, and we keep BLID token quite stable, and we look after that token very, very serious, because we understand that people who trust Bolide, they actually want to get rewards the same which they expected on our website. And that is why, BLID token price is super important for us.
Okay, very good. And actually, do you want to talk a little bit about how, because usually on some of these yield farming type projects, you're used to seeing the token that things are paid out in going. This is a strange chart for me to see for this type, because I'm used to seeing it just go straight down. How are you guys able to keep kind of the price of the token up as you've been doing this?
So there are plenty different things which we're actually doing. I think Marie will explain more in terms of the marketing perspective, because, marketing is always an important part of every protocol and in every token as well. But in terms of, strategy of our economy inside Bolide, so basically because the strategy pay back all yield which we generate in our native token. So we always buying from the market this token to pay it back to customers. That's the first thing how we actually keep token price quite stable, I would probably say, because if you can look like in total graph, so you can see that we're very stable since we launched. Yeah, and in terms of other supports, of course, what we did recently, we launched the Boost 2, which is actually additional utility function of the token. If you're holding BLID token, you will get boosting of APY for all our vaults. And this actually helping token price as well, because people who want to use Bolide and who want to increase APY level, so they can easily do that if they buy BLID token and just, hold it together with their main vault.
Okay, so that'd be another way to make money is just the Bolide token. I mean, that's a good looking chart for sure. Quarter Mile would like to know, these are pretty decent APYs. Are they fixed? Do you want to talk about the APYs? Because I know there's also ways that you can get additional with the BLID token. Do you want to just talk about the APYs a little bit?
Yeah, why not? So I already a little bit mentioned that we have very good level of APY, the standard one, I would probably say, for all our vaults, because we do this leveraging and we actually mix different tools of DeFi market together. That's how we get these awesome numbers. But the APY is about 23-26%. That's what you can get because of the BLID boosting. So if you want to get those numbers, you need to buy BLID and we will just boost your APY. So it's not forever. We will be honest. So this is the second boosting already. Of course, right now, the numbers is like that because of the market level. But for example, before the situation with FTX, we had quite high APY itself. We didn't need to boost it because the strategy could make about 25% in average. And since we have this, farming fees, which depends on trading, and that part was pretty good before, that's why an average APY was very good. But right now we are boosting it with BLID token, and we believe that it's also, helping, community to reach their targets and to earn more. That's what we want in the end of the day. We do this protocol because of the community.
Okay, very good.
I can add here just to clarify a bit the boosting part. So this boosting, APY boosting thing, feature, well, it's additional utility to the token, which is also supporting the price, because we expect that for the boosting there will be the higher demand on the market to buy the token itself. But this is kind of like marketing tool to support the community and to retain users within the protocol. But of course, we expect that in the bull market we will come back to the good APYs naturally, because the trading volumes will increase, and because there are a lot of different variables when you are talking about the APY and how efficiently you can farm the yield.
Okay. No, very good. No, that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, great questions from the audience. Again, we will get to as many of these. We're up to 20. So you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Can I ask, so when somebody's thinking through something like this, and this is a place to maybe kind of store assets, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, what additional risks would you guys kind of consider there being to using a protocol like this, rather than just holding your Bitcoin in a cold wallet where you're getting 0% APY? You don't get APY without some risks. So what would you kind of tell someone that the risks are?
So I can talk about it, right? In terms of the risks, of course, we cannot 100% guarantee that everything gonna be the same, especially about the APY level, because the APY level depends on the market situation. We constantly repeating it to the community, and of course, you can see those numbers, that those numbers are not always the same. So you can understand that in average, for example, if you keep your crypto with us, so you will get some percentage in average, but it's every day, every time might be different. This is, I guess, the first and the main risk with us, because in terms of the market risks, for example, liquidation risks, and also permanent losses risks. So they are all under Bolide automated strategies. So we control them with our kind of, algorithm-based robots. So they monitoring market in terms of the level of, percentage which we can borrow, for example, on lending protocols versus what we keep as a collateral. So, and we need to understand the prices and what is if percentage changes, the strategy itself will work immediately and will add on either that side or that side additional tokens. So another part of the robots, they work in terms of the farming. So we're constantly understanding which pairs could give us the highest APY on the market, and if the pairs already not so interesting for our customers, so we will just repair it, automate it within the strategy itself. So we always want to say that we have kind of AI, but we don't have it completely. We don't educate our system. But I think in the future, that's what we want to achieve. So ideally for us, and now we are working a lot, we want to manage liquidity in the most smartest possible way in the market. So, and back to the risks, with us, you won't lose your main liquidity, which you put as a top up into ours. So you can always withdrawal your $110,000, which you put into Bolide. But the main risk is how much you will earn on top of that. Yeah.
Okay. Nope. Makes good sense. And JB, welcome. Please hit the like button. Yeah, JB, that is good advice. So you heard it straight from him. What does the name Bolide mean? That's a good question. I didn't think of that. Where'd that name come from?
I don't know, Mary. Yeah, maybe you on it.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, it's different people see it as a two different things. Some people usually associate it with Bolide like a speed car, but actually it's a comet, like a space, like a falling star. So yeah, that's the name.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, you learn something new every day. So no, awesome. Then Funny Turo says, good to see women in this space. And actually, I want to ask, hopefully this isn't offensive, but I don't get a lot of women on the channel. Like the crypto space is just there's not a lot of women in here. What's it been like being a woman in the space? And do you have any ideas or thoughts on how me or how we as a space can bring more women into this space?
Well, I can start. I think... Well, crypto has been, and the industry itself is very technical. So it's just, we're at this point in time where women just started to step in more technical industries. But I see a lot of influencers, a lot of traders, female traders. So I think more and more women will be joining. But of course, we're trying to, bring this message out, and we hear it all the time when we're, having a call with partners, with ecosystems. They're like, wow, so many women.
Right.
Yeah, but I think we're trying to make it more, accessible, both for retail investors, but also, spread out the message, women, don't be afraid. It's not that scary, because, there is crypto Twitter and crypto culture might seem a bit more harsh versus fluffy tech. But it's fine. The industry is really great, and I've never seen any, troubles or problems. So yeah, girls, women, please join us.
Yeah, and I want to add something. I think it's about language as well. So because it's pretty much male market, so you speak in the male language as well. And what I personally try to do, so I try to explain in kind of women language, which is a bit different, I guess. And I think there are a lot of opportunities for educational content for just the women. So, yeah, everybody actually can use this opportunity. And I sometimes do some kind of meetups and just for women, and it works perfectly. So they can understand easily how to trade. And actually, there are less women into the space, but some of them much more successful than men because they're very careful. But if they decide something, they just go straight and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope there are more and more women coming into the space, and yeah, we want to do that. And funny things about us as a team, we have some external, of course, like partners. And once one guy, he actually communicated with me and was part of the team. And maybe 6 months later, he asked me, "Do you have any men in the team?" Because I never saw someone, and it was super cool. And I think, yeah, we are 50-50 actually. We're not
Okay.
just women, but it's super cool that we have this 50 part of us.
Yeah, well, it's very cool, and I want to help support because I noticed. Well, 2 years ago when I started YouTube, my audience on my channel was 99% men, 1% women, and I was like, that's a waste of my good looks. Like we gotta change this a little bit. And now we're up to like 90% men, 10% women, so it's growing. But I just, want to support and just help out as much as I can because there's a lot of opportunity there. And I think you're right. I think there's I think women in a lot of ways could be better at a lot of this stuff than the men are. So
yeah, but the cool stuff that we need all collaborate. It doesn't matter who we are. So in collaboration, we can create the best protocol. It's the same thing like about people from different part of the world. If you build DeFi and any protocols on the market, so you build international products straight away because it's an internet. You can't actually understand like specify protocol just for specific audience or I don't know, country. And when you have like decentralized team as well, so it's super cool because everyone can put their efforts and also their mentality, which is also important. Yeah.
Amen. Yep. Nope. Awesome. I love it. Let's see. Philson would like to know, okay, how does this compare? So people are familiar with like the GLP, GMX. So there's other protocols that do kind of this similar thing. Based on the other protocols that you've kind of seen, what would you say sets you guys apart from some of these other protocols that are doing kind of put in your money and we'll go yield farm it for you?
Okay, I can take this one. So if we're talking about our competitors, I wouldn't name GMX as one of them because it's options and all the derivatives, perps, like it's completely different game. It's more products for DeFi degens, which we're not targeting at the moment. Like I would say that our target audience are people who are already in Web3, but for some reason they don't use DeFi at all. Like that could be, it's just boring, or it's too complex, or it's too risky. They've tried to provide liquidity in Uniswap v3 and didn't study it enough. And, because there are a lot of different risks, very specific to DeFi, they've burned once and they're like, no, I'm staying away from it forever. Then we have people who, tried centralized finances like Celsius, BlockFi, stuff like that. They've already, lost their assets, unfortunately. Again, like we're trying to emphasize that we're self-custodial, but we're also very simple. Like ease of use is our motto, I would say, like one of our main focuses at the moment. Both UX, like you have to understand what is expected from you on this platform. Because if you look at the majority of complex DeFi protocols, you look at the interface and there's like thousands buttons, thousands different APYs, percentages. You have to sign 15 transactions and you don't understand what you're doing. You're just in this wormhole that you can't get out of. So we are trying to simplify that. And that's why we have those single asset vaults. Like you don't have to think about, which tokens you have to buy to provide the liquidity. You don't have to calculate the ratio. So yeah, I think this is the main thing that sets us, what makes us different. Multi-chain, of course, we're aiming to plug into more chains. We launched on BNB, but yesterday we just launched on Polygon, and this is like something that our team has been pushing for quite some time. So we're very, very happy with that. We have more L2s coming during Q2 and Q3, but also multi-strategy on top of multi-chain. Like what Ox have mentioned before, we have the strategy that you can see on the main page at the moment, but we've already launched another strategy on Polygon, which is cyclical strategy. It's land, borrow, so it goes like, it can go infinitely, but of course not. At some point it breaks down. So the magic sauce of the Bolide team is to actually calculate all that stuff, take into account all the risks, and create those strategies and make them delta neutral. So we minimize risks and we provide the best possible APY with those constraints. That was a lot, a lot of stuff.
That was really good. Could I have you explain? You mentioned something that I think could be a good educational moment. Can you talk about delta neutral and just how that affects what you're doing? What does that mean? I think that'd be a really good educational thing for the audience.
Yeah, well, the simple explanation would be it is a way to manage risks. So we build all our strategies incorporating this principle. Like if we go into details, there will be like this large formulas that I won't be able to explain to you in this AMA. But we have all of this described in our docs. So if you have, if you want to dig deeper, please go and check out our docs. We also are hanging in our Discord. The whole team is there, so you can ask questions, and we will definitely take it and explain it. And we do even like user interviews or one-to-one calls with most curious users that don't understand like if something is not working. And actually, like we have a group of users that are already invested in our protocol, and they've been holding deposits for quite some time. And we've been explaining how the product works, like in a very tiny details, so they understand that they don't have any questions. So yeah, hopefully that I explained a bit.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's really good. And I think because some people might wonder, I mean, people can go do the same type of strategies that you're doing. But there's a lot more to it than just going onto PancakeSwap and depositing into one of their liquidity pools. I mean, there's a lot when you start getting into, we want to make sure we hedge it with some delta neutral stuff and, the leveraging and things like that. So what you've basically done is taken a process people could do themselves, but if they wanted to go put in all the hours and become experts in it, but you've made it just really simple where, hey, deposit one asset and then we'll go ahead and do the heavy lifting for you. And this is the output here. So I did want to know, what do you think as the TVL goes up? So you guys, it looks like, are sitting at maybe a 10 million TVL right now, it looks like. Do you expect as the TVL goes up, what will that do to your APYs? Will that not affect it? Or do you think you'll have lower APYs or higher? How do you think that'll affect it?
No, in our current strategy, so we don't have the things like any other protocols does sometimes. We won't have any lower APY, depends on the TVL level. It doesn't matter at all. It's not working like kind of parallel, depends on each other. So because we are actually putting this all utility, all liquidity under different decentralized protocols. That's basically, we don't have this depends, and APY works on the market basis, not on the TVL level, not depends on how much TVL we have. And it won't depend. And of course, we're expecting more and more TVL because as more chains we added it in the Bolide itself. So more people will join us, and of course, we will grow pretty fast, I think, especially now with Polygon support as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Ralphie would like to know, anytime somebody hears the word leverage or lending or anything like that, people kind of, hey, what's going on? I've heard that's bad. That's dangerous. What do you want to just talk about, risks of liquidation? How risky is it? People hear of that word liquidation, they get worried. Do you just want to talk into what you guys are doing on the leverage side of things?
Yeah, in terms of leveraging, as we mentioned before, so we have those robots who is constantly working, like looking into the market. And yeah, we can't guarantee, for example, that some lending protocols which we use, they will always exist and nothing happened. But we passed already 3 difficult situations when, for example, one of the protocol Venus, I'm sure everyone knows them. So they had some problems with BNB token someday because of the Binance kind of problems. And everything worked pretty well. We didn't lose any money because we have those, algorithm, which is hard to explain in an easy way, but we are not taking more than 80% of the liquidity, which we leave as a collateral. So, and if we see the difference inside the protocol, which we use for leveraging, for lending, if we can see the different, that liquidity, for example, going down. So on the blockchain side, you can see it in any second, and you can see it very quickly. It's much more quicker than you do it manually. And in this case, the protocol will just, put borrowed money back and just, take the collateral back. And it happens within like 3-5 seconds in real life through the smart contracts. Then you do it manually, because in manual part, you need to do, you need to, first of all, monitor the market and understand that something happened. And the second thing, that you will need to do it manually by your hands, and this is absolutely different situation. Moreover, I would say that in every major changes, like more than 10% on the market, so we all get notifications in our Telegram so that the team can, look carefully and understand what is going on.
Okay, very good. And it's another reason that you'd want to use something like BLID instead of doing it yourself, because it's very hard for you as a, I'm in 100 different projects, and it's not very feasible for me to be like checking on, the price of my liquidations and things like that. So it's a lot easier for me to just, hey, I'll take a little, I could probably, squeeze out a little bit more, maybe doing it on my own. There's not the fees involved, possibly. But it's just the expertise that you guys bring makes it worth it. B-Belly would like to know, is there a minimum stake? So is there a minimum amount that people can put in?
No, we don't have any limits. So no limits on stake, no limits on how long you can keep it, and also no withdrawal fees, because I saw some questions regarding the fees. We don't have withdrawal fees.
Okay, very cool, very cool. So how do you guys make money? Do you take, is there a little bit of the spread that you guys take, or how do you guys make money?
Yeah, so we actually, I think one of the protocols which started to make money straight away as soon as we launched, because we take 3% of APY, like of yield level, which we make for our users. And moreover, on top of that, so we have a BLID token, which is constantly increasing the price. And this is our second part of the income. But I would say, like, at the moment, like, majority part of that comes from the token, but it's also kind of normal for that market. Yeah, and we also have a treasury wallet. So the treasury tokens, which is USDT, basically came to us through token private sale, which we did like a year ago. And all of the treasury tokens, they are under our strategies. So, and in this case, everything what we earn in yield, like 100% of yield, comes as an income for us. That helps us a lot in terms of, team support and the marketing activities as well. So I think those 3 majority, like, income parts of our protocol.
Okay, very good. Makes a lot of sense. And yeah, this is a good question. When did BLID start? And what kind of hurdles have you faced along the way? I mean, that could be a really long question, I suppose. But when did you start, and how things been going since launch?
Let me start. Maybe Marie will continue. Yeah. So You know that we are all, most of the team is actually traders. So we have, even me, like I have a trader's background. 10 years ago, we started from peer-to-peer. I started from peer-to-peer platform. And also we have other co-founders who basically did the same stuff. And about 3 already years ago, when DeFi market was created, so we started to trade within DeFi market. And that's how we actually understood that it's possible to create several strategies and just, monitor market and earn some additional income passively through the market itself. And it was super cool. And then we spoke with several people, like people who understand in smart contracts, because 3 years ago it was something, new, and not a lot of people understood how actually build this inside smart contracts, inside, decentralized market. And our dream was to create kind of different strategies when you don't need to spend so much time monitoring market, like controlling risks to get, stable APY level. And that after that, when we understood that it's possible to build through smart contracts, so we straight away started to do that. And it's happened about 2 years ago. Of course, it was a lot of, deep dive and understanding how we actually can build it. And the protocol itself was launched a year ago, so in April 2022. But we launched the utility token about a little bit early. It was December 2021, because we wanted to raise money through the token. It was very necessary for us as a team. And that's how we actually, build it. So we launched a token 1.5 years ago. Then we started to work on the strategy. And then we just launched the first strategy. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Somebody said in the comments, a year in crypto is like 50 years, in the regular world.
In the bear market is
Yeah,
like 5
in the bear
years.
market too. Yeah, very true. I mean, that's very impressive. And again, when people ask, "Oh, I'm scared of a rug pull" or something like that, to me, the best proof is being around for a year. That's like, okay, they haven't rug pulled for a year through the hardest time of the market. This would not be the right time to do that when we're potentially getting back into a bull market. Potentially, not financial advice or anything. Funny Turo wanted to know, have they been audited? What kind of audit, KYC, the typical questions people want to know about projects.
Yeah, Maria, you can tell about our awesome audits.
Yeah, sure. So we have one audit done by Hacken already. We're now doing the second one, and the security itself is ease of use and security are two of our major focuses, because we are not we don't market through we have highest APYs, 100%, 1000%, stuff like that. We want to build a long-term project, and we want people to grow their crypto, their wealth in a steady way, like in a very wise, but not in a hurry. So we're probably looking for hodlers who want to make passive income maybe on the part of their portfolio, because we always have to understand that DeFi is risky space. It's smart contract breaches, not maybe even ours, but as Ox mentioned, other protocols. And if users deposit with us, they just minimize the amount of transactions with other protocols where they could be rug pulled, or their wallet, like seed phrase, could be stolen. And talking about security, we're putting a lot of focus on that this year and the next year, and we will be investing more and publishing more materials. Our dev team will publish more articles on how do we envision this, what we're doing now, but what is our future outlook to that. Because audits, yeah, it's good, but how many projects have we seen that have been audited and have been hacked? So it's kind of, yes, it's like an industry standard, but it doesn't guarantee you, complete safety.
Right. Nothing ever can guarantee absolute safety.
But extra pairs of eyes on your contract is always beneficial.
Right.
That's true.
Yep, absolutely. James wanted to know any regulatory issues with being in the US that you guys have run into?
At the moment, not. I actually recently went to Consensus and in Austin, awesome Austin, and it was a lot of conversation regarding, regulatory risks. And I spoke with our, partners in this space like GIDI protocols and many others. So at the moment, we are fine. But of course, as a responsible protocol on the market, we always look carefully in terms of what is going on. And because we have so many good years in crypto market, like the team overall, we like an average 10 years. And we want to say that we want to be regulated as all normal, I guess, protocols who came to this market, not just for 1-2 fluffy, cool years, but we want to stay here forever. And we want to grow community and earn together with you guys. That's why we actually will be very happy, especially in the US, if they can do something cool in terms of regulation. But we based partly in the UK, in Dubai, and like in Malta as well. So, and of course, the team itself also decentralized. We have people in any different part of the world, including like Asia. And we're looking after all the regulations because everything always happens every week. And I think in terms of, building protocols, it's always hard to build protocols on the kind of market. But I think the hardest part of that, which is not always, spoken a lot, it's operation stuff. Because a lot of cool protocols and ideas, they actually failed because of bad operation. And I think this is also very important, and look carefully in terms of regulation and all, process, which is important to understand.
Okay. Yep. Nope. Totally agree with all that. And sometime I bet our paths will cross. I almost was at Consensus. I was in Dubai last week, and sometime we'll have to meet up in person. That would be amazing. It's always always nice to meet project founders that way. Let's see. Funny Turo says the problem with this space is most of the investors are risk seekers, and yield aggregators are for low risk investors. And I feel that they have not arrived in Web3 yet. And I think you're right. I think. Funny Turo, I think some of the degen people have lost enough money where they're starting to look towards hey, maybe we need to just go back to like real DeFi rather than, these node and Ponzi projects. But I think you're right. It's kind of a weird space to be in crypto, but on like the safer, sane side of crypto. So appreciate having you here. Pinkwater here to support Team Bolide. So Pinkwater, welcome. Glad you could be here. Chris says long-term vision. So yeah, if everything keeps working out as you anticipate, where do you kind of see this going in the next 3 years, we'll say?
Maria, do you want to say?
Yeah. I can take this one. So we envision Bolide as an ecosystem, as a stack of DeFi tools for retail investors, but also for institutions. Because they're because behind every institution are people who are not very into DeFi, so to speak. So we want to create this, stack of simple DeFi tools that will ease, the way how you earn passive income on your crypto. And we're on our own wallet at the moment, and we are hoping to, release the first version somewhere mid-summer, and then start to really grow it moving into September, because wallets are still this is the first thing that user has to interact with before they enter Web3. So, and it is still a huge bottleneck because MetaMask is still 85%, 80% of the market, and it is horrible. No one can use it, but still the majority uses this clunky wallet. So I think that would be our vision. You can earn with our dApp. You can save and hold with our wallet. We can probably do, DEX or some other stuff to allow users to trade and swap without leaving Bolide. And those are all streams of revenue. So it kind of all adds up in some, kind of cool business model, which is kind of a combination of different business models into one. But you never know what would be your rocket, your spaceship that will take you very high, I hope.
Okay. No, very good. I like that. Very, very cool. All right, man, we got so many audience questions. You guys are amazing. Appreciate you guys. If I don't get to your questions, a lot of these we've answered already as well. So the recording of this will be available when we're done. I'll go back and put in some chapters so you can skip around. Let's see. I'm sure they keep a pulse on which stable coins are most stable. Do you have any? First off, I want to know when USDC was depegging, what was going through your guys' mind? Was there panic going on, or how was that? And do you see any challenges with stable coins going forward?
So stable coins, not always stable, unfortunately. I think everyone trying to look around the stable coins and understand what is going on. But as a trader, I can see that stable coins is very necessary part of, overall economy between, cryptocurrency and normal worlds. I would probably say, all transactions happens actually between people and businesses within stable coins. And I think this is a cool utility function of those coins, and it's an important part of our cryptocurrency economy overall. In terms of how we look at that and what happened with USDC. So first of all, we don't have a lot of percentage of users who use USDC. So most of the percentage in stable coins, they're in USDT. And so we were constantly looking into the market together with our algorithm and understanding what is going on. But as far as I remember, I think everything was very smooth and was okay. I think our algorithm works very good. And this is also one of the reasons why it took us almost a year before we launched another blockchain. So because we do this, collecting knowledge and improving our algorithms, even if we didn't launch the chain before. So we did a lot of work and we did a lot of improvements in terms of algorithm and monitoring the market. So that's what we do. And the same things with stablecoin. If something will collapse, so you will probably, first of all, we'll see it on blockchain. And blockchain is a very good book, guys, when you can understand everything what is going on, and it will work completely quickly. And if you first who take liquidity of the problems protocol or, a token, so you will always win in this case, because the first people who is taking off, so they will be able, get all money back.
Okay, very good. And I would say that's another reason that you would want to use something like BLID instead of doing it yourself, because, if you're doing it yourself, you have to keep an eye on all that stuff. You have to keep an eye on, USDC's depegging. What should I do? Whereas if you get into something like BLID, the experts, they can handle it. You can go do something else. So really like that as I'm a passive income guy. So this would be more passive there.
Yeah, but I want to add a little bit more. Sorry, Maria. In terms of Degents and what they do, we started to work with whales a lot. We started to understand what they want, and we actually want to go deeper and see, how much money they can make if they do like a very aggressive trading and farming, because in our not just opinion, but we have those numbers because we did analytic stuff. We know that if you do hunting those like a very crazy percentage, in average per year, you will get lower than us. So this is how it works, because you will get higher percentage only like a couple of days or something, and then if you're not changing it, in the overall you can lose, not win, And whales also like the protocols when you explain that what we actually did and how to use us. And I think by the end we might just create, a separate vaults for whales, which will be more gambling, because they don't like as much, percentage as some cool stuff like do this, like buy that, something like kind of gambling stuff. And we are thinking about this right now.
Okay, very good. No, thanks for answering that. That's very helpful. JB says hacking overall 9.9 out of 10. Great work. So yeah, that's a good score. Don San says I'm done with degen. Yeah, and I've seen this journey a lot. I call it from degen to DeFi. So a lot of people get into degen stuff and they think, oh, I'm involved in DeFi. And it's no, you're involved in Ponzi schemes. And after you're done with degen, you'll find your way to what true DeFi is, which yield farming. I mean, that's when you go back to the roots of what DeFi is. I mean, yield farming is kind of the root of it. So I see a lot of people that go on this journey to the high returns, lose all their money. Now we come back to reasonable things. So all right, well, let's most of the other questions are about how to get involved, so let's get to the calls to action. I mentioned I'm a marketing guy, so I always like to end strong calls to action. So what would you say the calls to action are? Number one is follow on Twitter, we could say. Join the community. You guys have a strong Discord community. Is that kind of where you guys do most of your hanging out?
Yeah. So Twitter and Discord are definitely our main channels at the moment. We do have a Telegram chat and Telegram announcement channel. We will be developing our Reddit, TikTok, YouTube, so everything. But we've decided to focus first on Twitter and Discord. And our approach is to provide a lot of educational content, because though we're automating a lot of stuff, we want our users to understand what is actually happening in the background and how do we make it possible, what are things that we're automating. So yeah, definitely jump in the Discord, the Telegram. Our team is in there. So yeah, as I've mentioned before, yeah, you can ask all types of questions that bothering you and this is a good approach. Like, you have to do your own research. If the team can't answer any of the questions, or some tricky questions, that's just a red flag.
Yep, absolutely. And these are all free things. So again, if you're on the edge, you're like, hey, I'm not quite ready to put in money, then yeah, go get comfortable. Hop in the Discord, ask the questions, make sure you understand how all the yield farming's working. I'm sure that they would be happy to explain the full process and how the delta neutral stuff works, how they're hedging against potential losses and things like that. Someone asked in the audience, where can I buy BLID? So right here, there's a buy BLID button, and it shows you the different, you can get
all
on PancakeSwap. Yep. All the things. And then if you're wanting to deposit, you just launch app, and then there's the Stablecoins, the Bitcoin, Ethereum. Personally, I have some Ripple that I'm just sitting on, so it makes sense to me. I might as well deposit that in. I'm not getting any APR on it right now. It's just sitting there. So it makes sense to me. Hey, maybe I put it in here. It's just sitting there. Also, my Bitcoin, I think I'm getting 5% on Binance. Why not put it here and get a little bit higher percentage? So anything you want to add to that, or did I kind of cover everything?
Yeah, that's it. I think we have some troubles with our front end. We have to
finger.
It
could be my wallet too.
Yeah.
I might have.
Yeah, I think it's just internet connection or the wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, yeah. So the flow is very, very simple. You just click deposit, then you approve the amount, approve the interaction of your wallet with the protocol, and then you just pick the amount that you want to deposit, and that's it. And you can withdraw anytime. So yeah, that's what I was talking about before. The ease of use is the main thing for us.
Yeah, no, very, very user friendly. It'd be hard to get confused on what to do here. It's just deposit, make sure your wallet's connected, and then you should be good to go. And then how do rewards show up? Do you have to click something, or do they just show up in your wallet, or how do the rewards kind of work?
Yeah, we kind of missed this part. So we distribute the rewards every 12 hours, so twice per day. And you have to go to the dashboard and claim them back. So we don't do auto compounding at the moment. So yeah, you have to manually do that.
Okay, awesome, very good. Well, that's all the questions I have. I think that's all the questions the community has. Do you have any final closing words of inspiration, or anything further that you think we didn't cover before we kind of sign off here?
May I start? Because I have few.
Oh, yeah,
I'm sure you are.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, we're pushing a lot the educational part of the DeFi, especially for the Web3 kind of non-DeFi audience. Like, if you're an NFT collector or if you're earning in crypto and you kind of, yeah, DeFi, I've heard of it, but I don't really understand it, please jump in. Like we talk a lot about it in our community. We also run a lot of different quests, and we're trying to make this educational process as engaging as possible. So at the moment, we're running a series of quests on layer 3, and this is a really good platform where you can do very simple, small tasks, but you will quickly understand not only Bolide, but the wider ecosystem, ZK Sync, and all those layer 2s and layer bridges. You can learn a lot of stuff in there. And also we're running sprints and quests on Zilli. It used to be called Crew 3, which is also like, very simple tasks, but we are also rewarding and incentivizing all the active community members. So if you wanna, learn and earn, please join our Discord. We are, trying to make this space fun, but also educational, provide good vibes, and yeah, just stick around. Like Web3 crypto is amazing industry, very welcoming. I think it's one of the industries where you can earn on your curiosity and the time that you put into education. It will pay off many, many times. This is where you can catch those 1000x's.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That is inspiring.
Yeah, guys, and I just want to add a little bit that we actually building protocol for community. So all things which you think we need to improve or you want to see inside Bolide, so you're more than welcome to suggest to us, because we want to build this protocol for everyone who can actually, use it easy. And for ourselves as well, because as a traders, we use this protocol a lot, and we think that it's awesome in terms of how we actually build the decision in terms of, key pains in the market. And yeah, so please sign up for Twitter, because we soon will launch some cool stuff, including wallet, which we mentioned before. And of course, we will, do a lot of things like giveaways and all of the stuff for people who will give us feedback in terms of how it works. And please join us, and we will be ready to talk with you anytime. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much. I want to thank first the audience. Appreciate you guys always showing up. Please hit like on the way out. And yeah, thank you so much. First off, thank you for building something in the space that is worth coming onto my channel. There's so much garbage. Every day I'm pitched probably 20 projects, and I just look at them and I say, oh, there's nothing here. Like, what are you doing? And so I'm just so thankful to have people building things in the space that are helping move the space forward, can actually help people make money going forward. So thanks for doing that. And thanks for coming on and talking through it, answering questions. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, James.
Thanks, James.
Thank you, everybody. Hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we will probably talk to you guys tomorrow. So thank you, everybody. Have a great